Alright, welcome everybody to another tour of my game room. Now why am I making another video of my game room? I just did one a couple months ago. Well, in that time, I've already gotten many more games and the place has been reorganized a bit. First, you can see that instead of a crappy chair, I have a nice little futon now. A nice crappy futon. Well, it's nice to play games on, so that's only one difference of many. So I decided that I'm going to make another video. Just kind of going around my game room again because it's much nicer than it was before. So I'm going to slothfully get up and go get the camera now. So we'll start back here, I suppose. Here's my NES kind of cleaning station. Here I have some alcohol, some Q-tips, and a Legend of Zelda. This is broken. I tried to clean it and it would not work, so it's unfortunate. I'll start off here. I have some Game Boy games, systems actually, and a few Dreamcast memory cards. And here are some old cheat codes from when I used to be younger and I didn't go on the internet, or I didn't have internet on my phone. So I'd print off all the cheats for the games because I was a dirty, rotten cheater. Here's some more games, game handhelds. Here's a Game Boy, another classic Game Boy, with transparent version. And here's a Game Boy Advance, and then my DS. Then in here are a bunch of spare Genesis manuals, like nothing too good. I think the Lion King's in here, Mortal Kombat 2, The Simpsons, Bart's Nightmare, basic stuff. And here's some handheld games here, like Battletoads, Mega Man Extreme, X-Men on Game Gear, and a couple Pokemon games, I guess. And then Devilish, basic stuff again. Here are more extra controllers, like a green Nintendo 64, a lot of NES stuff, NES Max. Nothing too special. Spare Dreamcast, use a Turbo Genesis controller, then a third-party Atari 2600 controller. Down here is even more 64 controllers. We've got a lot of those. So now we'll start with the games. We'll start down here, I guess. I just got a new shelf up here, so there's no room for these yet. I'll find room for them somewhere, though. Here's just some 64 games. Nothing too special. There's Mario Party right there in the end. And Superman 64 right there. Then here are a bunch of Famicom multi-carts and a couple actual authentic ones. Here's Battletoads. This is my rarest Famicom game. Then just a bunch of like Pokemon multi-cart, even though these aren't Pokemon games. Lion King, which is actually The Jungle Book, 10,000,001. A lot of these I've reviewed already, but I really only have, that's all I'll go through. I really only have 3 actual released Famicom games that aren't pirates. And that is Dragon Ball Z 3 and the Transformers, the one that Angry Video Game Nerd reviewed. The one that's apparently really difficult. I beat it, it wasn't that tough. But all the rest of these are pirates. Up here we'll go, here's my least favorite system, the Super Nintendo. Nothing too great here. There are a few good ones, like Zelda, Mega Man X, the Super Game Boy, Battletoads Double Dragon, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. And I do have Earthbound, that's a nice one. Space Invaders, a Sears Telegames in the box. Here are my Atari games. My one 5200 game on top. The rest of these are all 2600 games. And then here are 6 ColecoVision games. Too bad I do not have a working ColecoVision. Then here are my Master System games. Ghost House, Hang On Safari Hunt, Phantasy Star, Space Harrier, Cyborg Hunter, Ghostbusters, Wonder Boy 3, which I just got yesterday, and Spy vs. Spy. Then here are the loose ones, Alex Kidd the Lost Star, Rambo, Double Dragon, Quartet, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Great Baseball. Here are some systems. These are 4 systems I like to play a lot. These two mostly. I don't play the 64 that much, nor do I play the TurboGrafx 16 too much because I don't have that many games for it. But yeah, here's a working TurboGrafx 16. This is a great system. If you don't know what it is about, check it out. It's good. Here's my NES top loader from 1993. Love this thing. It's awesome. Even though I don't think mine works as well as other people's say. They say it works every time. Mine doesn't. I still have to fiddle with the cartridge to get it to work. Here's my green Nintendo 64. I have a regular one as well, but it's somewhere else. Sega Genesis Model 1 with absolutely no lockout chip. So it'll play just about any game, unless it's an unlicensed game, because apparently those are made to work around the lockout chip, and this one has no lockout chip. Here's the newest game I got for the Genesis, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist. And here's a Model 1 CD I found at a store once. Love it. Down here's my Master System. It's not hooked up right now, unfortunately. And back there's my Neo Geo AES. On this table here, I have a couple controllers. Usually I have them bundled up and sitting over there, but right now I have them right here. 64 Rumble Pack. And here's a video game hardware book, which really goes through just about every system. Released in Europe, at least, because this is a European magazine, kind of book. I like it. It's a good coffee table reader for guests. Down here I have a GameCube, which I don't play that much. I just got the Wind Waker for it, so I might as well play it here and there. NES Advantage and the Sega Dreamcast keyboard. Up here on the TV you can see that's the Hyperstone Heist playing. That's the music you hear. Right there's a TurboGrafx 16 controller. Down here I have more systems ready to play. Super Nintendo, which I don't play hardly ever. PlayStation 1 and Sega Dreamcast. Here are my volumes of the Angry Video Game Nerd. All 5 of them. I don't have the 6th one yet. Here's Blip the Digital Game. Donkey Kong arcade cabinet, tiny little one. These are kind of rare. Sega Genesis Model 2, 32X and Model 2 CD. Then here's another Model 1 with no lockout chip, in really good condition. Back here's a switch box so I can switch between Genesis and N64 or whatever else I decide to hook up. Here's a spare case, and here's another Nintendo poster. Now you're playing with power. Here on this wall I have some extra games, some more extra systems. Here's a Mega Drive actually, the original Mega Drive from 1988 in Japan, and its controller. Another Genesis Model 1 with a 32X, with an actual cable with it too. Model 3 Genesis, and a Model 2 Genesis. My PlayStation 2, go Sony. Then there's a rental case for Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And down here is a Nomad and a Sega Game Gear. And then I have a PlayStation 2 controller there. Here's my wall of NES games. There are 2 of them, of classic ones. Here are my boxed ones. Dracula's Curse, Castlevania 3, Demon Sword, Dragon Warrior, Final Fantasy, Home Alone, I don't know how to pronounce it. I just got this one yesterday, Mermaids of Atlantis. They were an unlicensed game in the box. Solar Jetman, Super Mario Bros. 2, Sunday Funday, The Ride, a mint in box. I used to have it sealed, but I opened it like an idiot. Tom and Jerry and Star Tropics 2, Zoda's Revenge. Then up here is Where in Time as Carmen Sandiego, and an empty Tengen box. All these games I just alphabetized recently, except this one right here. Little Samson's my rarest game, and I keep it in a nice case above the collection. Then Aladdin, this is a PAL exclusive game. Pretty much the last game ever released for the system anywhere. About 1995. I'll flip the camera outside. Battletoads, one of my favorites. Battletoads Double Dragon is rare. This is Big Nose the Caveman. Bomberman 2. Bucky O'Hare, underrated. I love that game. Then here is... that game right there is Championship Pool. The label's ripped off. Color Dinosaur. Earthbound is reproduction cartridge. This is Fantastic Adventures of Dizzy. This is Galactic Crusader, which is a rare one. By the way, up here, that's Adventures of Captain Comic. Down to this row. Right there is Indiana Jones, I think. No, it's not. Is it? That is Indiana Jones. And which one is? Yeah, it's Temple of Doom. The Jetsons, Cogswell Capers, a rare one. Jungle Book, one of the final games released in for the system in mid 1994. Kid Clown. Right here is King of Kings, the early years. A rare type of label, by the way. It looks like that. A little bit different than what you usually see. Crazy Creatures, both the Zeldas. I keep them together. I don't keep them alphabetized correctly. That is The Lion King, along with Aladdin, are the last games released for the system, but they're both only European exclusives. Mega Man 1 through 6. Mega Man 6 is my favorite. Metal Storm, which I think is not as good as everybody says. Metroid 1 and both the Metroid copies, the one from 1987 and the 1992 or later on Classic Series release. Mickey Mouse Capade. MiG-29 Soviet Fighter. That's Mr. Gimmick. This is a reproduction of the rare Sunsoft game, but it's now discontinued. So this is no longer being produced of an already extremely rare game. Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, and 3. RBI Baseball 1, 2, and 3. Right there is Roadrunner, and right here is Rolling Thunder. Shockwave, which is the weirdest looking NES game I have. Pretty good game, too. All four of the Simpsons games, they're all pretty bad. The final row right here. Right here is... what is this one? Spiritual Warfare right there. Star Tropics, Star Wars 1 and 2. Right there is Super Sprint by Tengen. And here's Sunman, a reproduction cartridge. The Sunsoft game that was never released. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 and 2. I have the third one coming in the mail. The Tengen version of Tetris, the rare one. And all the other two Tetrises. Tetris and Tetris 2. Uncharted Waters, a Koei game. Alright, now in here, my Neo Geo AES games. I have 5 of them. The Samurai Spirit, I believe that's what it's called. Samurai Spirits. Art of Fighting 2, The Super Spy, Magician Lord, and Son Goku. On TurboGrafx 16 games, I have like 11 or 12 of these. Most of them are in the box. Then up here I have Splatterhouse, Dungeon Explorer, an extra Dungeon Explorer, and Bonk's Adventure. If you want Dungeon Explorer on the TurboGrafx 16, let me know. Here, some DS games from when I was younger. I don't really play them anymore because they're Pokemon. Then one Legend of Zelda and the Sonic the Hedgehog Classic Series. My PS1 games. Metal Gear Solid, probably my favorite game of all time. Or up there at least. Bubsy 3D. And Silent Hill, another amazing game I have complete. And in here I keep my rarest NES games. Like the Smurfs. This is a 1994 German version, I think. PAL only, exclusive. Banana Prince. Another really rare one. 1992, released in Germany only, so it's another rare one. Gunneck, these 4 are my rarest, besides Little Samson. Gunneck, a great shooter. Bubble Bobble Part 2, I'm missing the first one actually. Power Blade 2. really rare one as well. And a Panic Restaurant. Oh boy, I love this game a lot. So those are my really rare NES games, besides, you know, Little Samson. Then over here I have some duplicates. 5 copies of Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. I keep them down here. This is one I thought was Millipede because it had Millipede written on it in marker, but apparently it was wrong because it's Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Crystalis, which has a beat-up label, so that's an extra. I got it replaced. A whole bunch of extra PS1 games. Some NES dust sleeves. They don't fit on the shelf too well. Some crap box games. I don't want these at all because they're Xbox and Xbox sucks. Silent Hill 2 and 3, 2 of the best games of all time. I love them. And the rest of these are pretty self-explanatory. I have about 6 GameCube games total. One good one, The Legend of Zelda. And then Simpsons Hit and Run, which is a crappy licensed game. Then some Dreamcast games, like Shenmue is the one you really need there, and Sonic Adventure. That's basically all it is over here. Now here's the Genesis, my second biggest collection besides NES, but it's my favorite system. I have a lot of Genesis games here. So many that it just goes across the entire wall. So I'll start back here with Virtua Racing, Skitchin, Road Rash 1 and 2. I have the third one boxed. It's a Madden sports game. Some more sports. 2 copies of Shaq Fu. Bubsy, Double Dragon, which is the best port of the arcade. The music is awesome. The graphics and gameplay are close to the arcade, the closest that you'll get. A 4-player tennis game, which is interesting. You plug the controllers into the cartridge and somehow it works. Right here is the Sonic & Knuckles, some 32X games right here. Doom, a golf game, and Knuckles Chaotix. And here are my Genesis games. Yeah, that's upside down for you. I'm not going to go through many of these. Here are 5 pirated games. This one right here is Golden Axe 3, and that's really, really nice to have a pirated version of that game because it never came out in the States, and it's a really cool one too. Here's a bootleg of Action 52. So I have the Genesis version of Action 52 as a bootleg. Right, and up here is the Game Genie, and some of my favorite, some of the better Genesis games in my opinion. Red Zone has pretty much the best graphics on the system besides another one by the same company. Lightning Force, amazing. Streets of Rage 2 is another amazing one. Here's Streets of Rage 3 and Bare Knuckle 3. This is a reproduction of the Japanese version of the game. If you don't like Streets of Rage 3 thinking it's the worst of the series, play Bare Knuckle 3. It's so much better. The American version is vastly inferior. Battletoads Double Dragon, and Maximum Carnage Spider-Man with the red cartridge. Ghostbusters and Contra Hard Corps. Amazing game right there too. Alright, and here is my 5 Japanese Mega Drive games. Here's Osomatsu-kun, which is one of the first 4 games released in 1988. Dragon Ball Z, Zero Wing, the All Your Base are belong to us. Alien Soldier, which comes mint in the case. Pulse Man, which comes in almost mint, but really good condition in the box and the manual. Then here's Musha in the box only. Amazing game right here. One of the best Genesis game I have, probably. And here are a bunch of Genesis games in their boxes. I keep the red boxes over here and the other ones over here. Streets of Rage 1 and 2 in the box. Here are some cardboard ones. Adventures of Batman and Robin, the best graphics on the system. If you haven't heard of this game, it's really good. Some of the best graphics you'll see on the Genesis. And some of the best music too. Castlevania Bloodlines in the box, semi-sealed. It has a plastic wrapping around it, but there's a slit in the top from where the previous owner opened it and played it. Here's some more 32X games, a CD 32X games, and my Sega CD games. The Terminator, Earthworm Jim Special Edition, that's a rare one. And Resident Evil, the Sega Saturn version. The only Saturn game I have. Loose one. And here's Pure Solar, the reprint edition. If you don't know what this game is, you should check it out. Alright, I'll hurry up through the rest of this. My Sega Saturn, which I don't know if it works, I don't have the cables for it. 3 more Genesis systems. The original box for that Mega Drive I have over there. The original one from 1988. The 1992 version of Sega Genesis in the box. My Famicom. 2 spare Dreamcasts. The Atari Darth Vader model in a nice brown leather case. Vinyl. Something, whatever. Some spare AC adapters and hookups. My ColecoVision, it doesn't work. It's in the styrofoam casing still though. And ColecoVision driver. And then an NES power pad. And 2 AES controllers. So that's basically the game room. So here's me again. Thank you for watching. Please let me know what you think of the collection. What other videos you want to see, because I'll make any video that anybody asks me for. But please comment and please like it. And please subscribe, because I don't have enough of those yet. So thank you, everybody.